Yo guys, welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to be doing my settings video. So I've never done anything like this so far. I've never really changed my settings too much apart from recently. So this is my updated settings. I used to play it on Appjack's settings, I think it was, or they were very similar to Appjack's settings. So I'll go through the main settings that I have right now. So the main, obviously, camera. So as you can see here, they're very similar to Appjack's, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I think I didn't mean to have my stiffness that low. I think I'm going to change that back up to 0.4. I think I had it on 0.4 before. I was trying out different settings, but another big one is invert swivel. A lot of people are not entirely sure. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't have this on. For some reason, I do have it on. So if I point like up on the controller, it goes down. So this is obviously when you're dribbling. You can look, see where the opponent is. But yeah, so I don't know if that really matters. I feel like that's more of a preference thing. Obviously camera shake off is evil. I don't really understand why you would have that on. But yeah, so that's basically very similar to Appjack's. But the big thing here that I changed recently, I normally keep these the same, but the big thing that I changed recently was my aerial and steering. So I had 1.42 to be specific. That was my aerial and steering for a long time. And I also had my dodge dead zones on 0.6, but I decided to increase it slightly. I felt like I was really struggling with it. This isn't 1.8 isn't something that I would recommend for people who are like kind of just getting into the game. I would recommend way lower steering and aerial. The only reason I've changed it is because I'm trying to be like up with the SSLs, and unfortunately you probably could get good on high sense if you were a lower rank, but it would take you a lot longer. I would 100% recommend, like, in the parameters, I would say like 1.3 to about 1.5 for beginners. I wouldn't go anything more than this. So 1.5 and 1.3, maybe 1.2, but that's really slow. Most pros will have it between 1.3 and 1.5. And obviously there's some pros, the one-off kind of people who are like 3.9, like Monkey Moon. His senses are crazy. So yeah, and also dead zone 0.5. This is more of like a preference thing. In general, the higher your dead zone, the higher your aerial and steering you want. Because your dead zone obviously can limit your movement if it's too high. So 0.5 is probably what a lot of pros will have it on. 0.05, sorry. So anything higher, normally this is due to stick drift. The higher you'll have this. For me, luckily, this controller has served me quite well, and it's lasted me a good while, so I can move pretty freely in the air. It's not too bad. That crossbar noise is horrible. I forgot to put back its mod on and change that. But yeah, I mean, and there's a couple other things like controller vibration. I'll definitely have this off. I used to have this on. I didn't realize how horrible it actually was until I turned it off, and it's definitely horrible now for sure. Another few things, so just the main ones here, you can kind of have your own preference, but they're more like the air rolls. So I only have one air roll bound. I do actually have my RB that on my controller, or my R1, sorry, for PS5. So I do have RB or R1 free that I could use for air roll right. Definitely, I don't think I have it on anything. So yeah, that's the main one. So aerial left's on X, but that's because I play claw. I wouldn't recommend this if you don't play claw. It's a bit awkward unless you play claw. But let me see. So also, power slide and air roll on LB, all the settings are kind of the same. But obviously the air rolls are the more awkward kind of settings, but LB, obviously your air roll and power slide should be on the same bind more often than not. It's just too awkward not to have it like that. But yeah, this is my updated settings guide. So these are really good settings. Again, these are pretty much Appjack's, very similar to Appjack's. And obviously these I've kind of nerfed, or not nerfed, but changed slightly lately. And also, for those wondering, I am on cross dead zone. I did make a video about this not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, on cross dead zone. I am on cross, and that will make things feel a bit different for you as well. So honestly, in my opinion, it sounds a little bit over the top, but anything below like GC. I wouldn't recommend having anything above 1.5, as I said. So another thing, just quickly, is also my I just had a voice break, man. Holy, I'm 22 nearly, and I've had a voice break. So another thing is these are my video settings. I don't really love them too much, because Rocket League doesn't really need that but good of settings to run. You know, it's just more for input delay, stuff like that helps this. So these are my settings here. These are pretty much the most standard kind of compy settings that people who play pro or comp would have. Obviously you can uncap it to 360 if you want. I've got a 240Hz monitor that I just got a couple of weeks ago, so that's kind of what I'm using. So yeah guys, that's going to be the settings video. I really hope you enjoy this, and just remember what I said about the aerial and steering. I think that's you know, pretty important for you to realize not to just crank your settings up because you feel slow. I would recommend keeping them slower when you're newer to the game. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.